Hello everyone, welcome to my Star Trail time-lapse video tutorial where I'm going to show you how to take your time-lapse still images and turn them into a beautiful time-lapse video. So come along and enjoy the fun. First, I take a look at my images through Bridge. I have made a separate folder on my desktop where I export my raw photos into JPEGs, and I export them half the size. Why? Because most computers have a really tough time handling such large image files, especially when you're going to stack them into a video. So generally I use half the size of my images, or if your images are really big, I use 3000 on the longest side. So once I do that, I go to Bridge and I take a look at all my images, and I take a look for airplanes or other things that have worked their way into my images. And then I open up each one individually in Photoshop and I remove them. I really like using the polygonal lasso tool to remove airplane trails because of how close I can actually get to it. So I select it and I hit delete and I choose content aware. And it's really important that once you do that, you have all the options checked like I have here on the screen. Color adaptation, your blending mode is normal and your opacity is 100. Once you hit that, check it, make sure that there's no weird anomalies, and you should be okay. Close and you save the image. Now, if you have 300-400 photos, this gets pretty daunting, but it's pretty worthwhile. Or you can avoid it by going to a super duper dark sky place that doesn't have any airplanes, but that's kind of impossible. So it's a must. Once I have all of my images edited, all my airplanes taken out, any other light leaks that I don't want, I'm on a Mac, so I use QuickTime Player to put my time lapse together with software that's already on your computer. If you have a PC, there are other options which I will include in the description, but I don't have any first-hand knowledge. All I have from my personal knowledge and what I'm showing here is through QuickTime on a Mac. So I open up my QuickTime Player app, I choose Open Image Sequence, and I choose the folder that I put on my hard drive with my airplanes cleaned. So that's why I think it's kind of important to have its own separate folder. You select all of them. Then your window pops up. You can choose your frames per second, click open, and then QuickTime will automatically put it together for you. And now you can see at 24 frames per second, this is how my star trails look. I think it looks pretty good. You can play with your frame rate. You can go faster, you can go slower. Depends on what you want to do. 24 seems to be the most appealing, but then again, whatever appeals to you is the best. Now, if you prefer to have the trails accumulate and streak across the sky, I'm going to show you how I do that. So you'll want to download a free program called StarstaX. Again, it will be in the description. Once you have that downloaded, I'm going to show you how you want your settings to look. So using that same folder, you're going to want to drag and drop them onto the left sidebar of StarstaX. Once you have them all imported, make sure that your preferences on the right side are changed to your blending mode to be gap filling. Make sure that you check comment mode and push the slider all the way to the right for long trails. You may want to play with this to your liking, but for what I'm showing you how I do, this is what I like to use. But the most important part is to click the box to save after each step. Make another folder so that it's not blended into the same folder. So go ahead and click the box here to process and just wait for it to be done. StarstaX finishes blending all of your images and saving them, you will get this prompt that will tell you that the blending is all done. That means you have an entire folder with each image saved separately with your streaking, and we will do exactly what we did earlier in QuickTime and just blend those images together the same way. So let's give that a shot. Again, open image sequence, choose the files with the comment trails, make sure you select all of them, choose your frame rate, hit open, wait for it to process. Go ahead and click play, and here you have a beautiful progressive trail of all those images together that streaks across the sky. Now, I intentionally left, you see all that light in the right corner of cars driving by? I intentionally didn't edit those out of my images so I could show you how to fix that in Photoshop in post. So I'm going to save this as a separate video, and I'm going to name it Comet Trails, Trona, Time Lapse. All right, I'm just going to save that. Isn't it beautiful? It's so lovely. I love making these. But we want to fix this. So how do we fix it? Well, we start by opening the actual file we just saved, the video, in Photoshop. And if you've never done this before, it's not that scary. So you open using Photoshop. The key is to make sure that it opens with a timeline bar at the bottom. If it doesn't, just make sure you go to your menu up at the top. Make sure that it's checked. If it's unchecked, just check it and it'll show the timeline. So here you are, you have your video, and we'll run through it real quick, make sure everything looks good. All right. Now, here's how you fix it. And this is what's the most important step to do. First, you want to make sure that your video file, let's say it's 3,000, 2,000, whatever it is on the longest side, the image you're going to plop in is going to be from the same set folder that you just made your video from. However, we're going to find a frame that doesn't have any light in it, like the cars and whatnot. So they should be the exact same size, but just double check to make sure. And in our video group, we're going to click the bar and add media as shown here. So we're going to add media, and the media we're going to be adding is one of the file frames that we just used to make our video. So we're going to search, I'm going to find it, and I'm going to hit the space bar. Nope, that has light in it. Let's pick another one. Let's go down farther. Space bar is giving me the preview. This one's perfect. So I'm going to hit open, and that's going to add it to my timeline. So now I'm just going to create a new video group, and I'm going to put that one on top, and I'm going to move it over, and I'm going to stretch it out. All you do is drag and drop it so that it's the same length as your video. All right. And here's what's the most important part, is that you put a mask on, a black mask actually, onto this video group. And how do you do that? On a Mac, you hold the Option key while you click your mask button right here. Now, making sure that you're on your mask, you need to go to the brush tool, and you want a soft brush, and you want to make sure that your foreground is white and your background is black. White reveals, black conceals. So with a white brush, we're going to show the image that's static by brushing it in, and it effectively brushes out all the errors in the photo, which is all the cars that we're driving. Okay. It's that simple. So if you have something that's really egregious in the foreground and not in the sky, this is a very easy way to mask that out. So once that's done, play it all the way through. Make sure all your timing looks good. Run it forward. It looks great. Now we need to render our video. Clicking the arrow shown at the bottom, you will locate where to send it. Choose your size, select the folder, all that lovely stuff. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to choose. I'm going to rename it just so we don't have a conflict of name. And I'm going to click render. And that's going to send my video in a format that's not a PSD file, but is actually a video file. And this may take a while. And there you have it. Click and open your video, making sure that it looks great. And look at that. What a masterpiece, right? I can't wait to see what you do. Feel free to tag me if you post on Instagram or mention me in the comments. My handle is Redhead Katrina. I'd love to see what you come up with. I hope this taught you something and helped perfect your craft. Thanks for watching.